Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and we are getting close to wrapping up another week. It is Thankful Thursday, and on Thankful Thursday, we talk about gratitude, what we're grateful for, why we're grateful for it, who we're grateful for. There's all sorts of ways for us to look at this thing and actually cultivate an attitude of gratitude. There's ways that we can become more grateful, more focused on the things that we're grateful for, and doing so, we can change so we can our existence. If we're focused on what we have versus what we don't have, we're much more likely to be in a positive mindset and to be appreciative and enjoy the life that we have been blessed with. So, instead of talking about gratitude itself, that we would talk about ways to actually cultivate gratitude. So, I wanted to spend some time with you guys and give you a group of questions that are kind of grouped in different categories of life that can help you to actually obtain that gratitude mindset. So, I wanted to start with, let's start with right now, the present. If we start with the present and we're focused on what we have now, then we can immediately get that mood booster, that mindset reset, reframe our thinking so that we're in a place of gratitude and focused positively and keeping the mind open and hopeful and prepared for whatever it is that may be coming our way. So, in asking yourself, when thinking about what you're grateful for right now, there's a few questions that you can ask yourself. And I'm hoping that if you're not driving, or if you're somewhere where you can grab a pen and paper, or you're somewhere where you could type or add notes into your phone, whatever the case may be, capture these questions and you can refer back to them at any time, and they will help you. If you're not in that place, it'll help you to shift the mind and to get to a more grateful place. If you are, if you're just focused and you want to meditate, you want to, get into a more positive mindset at any point in time, you can pull these questions out, you can think about them, and allow yourself to make that shift. So you can ask yourself, firstly, what are three good things that happened to me today, or it's early for a lot of us. So you can think back to yesterday. What are three good things that happened yesterday? And in asking yourself that question, you immediately start to, you start to focus. What happened yesterday, or what happened earlier today that was something that was really good, something really positive, something that I really appreciate, something that went well? Start to ask yourself that, and you immediately will start to shift your focus away from whatever may be frustrating you, whatever may have gone wrong, and shift over into that positive space and start to increase your gratitude. How about, who are three people in my life that I'm grateful for? Three people that you're grateful for. You may think about somebody, past, present, or future, but that are in your life, and they've poured in, they've contributed, they've done something that, when you think about them, you're grateful. You can see the contribution that they've made to your well-being, be it mental, physical, emotional. Somehow they've had a positive impact on your life. Who are three people that come to mind when you think about who you're grateful for? And what are three things in your life that you often take for granted? So that may make you think a little bit differently. So it's things that, they're there all the time. I have access to them. I have the privilege of having them around, or being in that space. It could be your home. It could be your health. It could be some of those things. We breathe all day, every day, and we don't think about it much until we're not able to breathe, or until breathing is a struggle. If you've ever been around somebody who's had asthma, or if you experienced the upper respiratory parts of COVID, it help just thinking back on that helps you remember just how important the ability to inhale deeply and exhale is. Those are important things. We need them to sustain our life, right? But because they happen automatically all the time, we don't put much thought into it until it's gone. Same thing with the heartbeat. We need our heart to not only be beating, but beating in a certain rhythm, and so it can sustain us. We don't think about it until we start getting some pains in the chest, or maybe you've been through a health scare. We went through one recently with my husband, and you don't think about those things because they're just always there. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's your kids. Maybe you're the one that people take for granted. But just think about that. There are people, there are things, there are opportunities that are around you all the time, and because they're around you all the time, they may not get the gratitude that they deserve. You may not think about them the same way because they're just there. And that's how we take things for granted and miss the blessing in that thing or that person. So think about things in your life that if they were no longer there, your life would be more difficult. Your life would be less joyful. Those are the things that you have the advantage of having at your fingertips, but maybe you're not thinking about them that way because of their ever presence. So put some time in thinking about these three questions when you think about what am I grateful for in my life right now? The people, three people that I'm grateful for, three things that have recently happened to me, or as recent as today or maybe yesterday, and things that I may be taking for granted because they're at my disposal all the time. What are you grateful for right now? After we look at right now, who are the people in my life that I'm most thankful for? So, who are the people in my life that have really supported you? Who've supported you no matter what? Who are the people that you can wake up first thing in the morning and not feel like you have to, get to a place of being all made up, and you know that they're going to have something good to say, or just being around them makes you feel better? Who are the people who, when you're really down or when you're struggling with something, you pick up the phone and call, or you text, because you know that they're going to listen and they're going to give you some good, friendly advice, and it's coming from a good place? Who are those people? Who support you? Who is it that you can be angry, be at your worst from a personality standpoint, and you know that that person is still going to be standing? They're going to work with you through it. They're going to give you that good advice, and will still be a part of your support system when all is said and done. Those people are people to be grateful for. And because they're your support system and they're around all the time, maybe, just maybe, you're not thinking about them like that. You're just accustomed to the fact that you can reach out and know that you're going to have somebody who will hold you up, somebody that'll help you through, somebody that'll support whatever is going on. Who celebrates with you? Who's the person or the people when something great happens that are the first people you want to tell, and you know that they're just as happy for you as if it was happening to them? They're your cheerleader. They may tell somebody else, my friend did this, my daughter did that, and they're so excited that they're going to pump you up, they're going to cheer you on, they're going to advocate for you. Who are those people? Those are folks that you really can be grateful for. Those people, when you think on them and think about the impact that they've had in your world, your gratitude can immediately start to expand. Who's made you smile lately? Who are the people in your life that when you need to pick me up, you just know that this person's going to make you smile? I've got a cousin. I have my cousin Carlton, and he's more like a brother than a cousin, but DNA be told, we're actually cousins. Our dads were brothers. I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I talk to this dude for just a couple of minutes, he's going to have me laughing. He is hilarious. I have a sister, Tiffany. Hilarious. They can't even help being funny. And if you're down and you're expecting somebody who's gonna, kind of get down there with you, and they're not the type that's gonna get into the emotions with you and go, and they're going to say something funny. And somebody just said, I make them smile today. Thank you. Cassie, I think that says, Cassie, you just made me smile. And I really appreciate that comment. And I hope that your day is so full of smiles that by the time you go to bed at night, your cheeks hurt a little bit. You've had such a great day that it's filled with smiles, and you're taking those smiles and you're passing them on and making somebody else's day like you just made mine. It doesn't take much, guys. It does not take much to uplift somebody. It takes being a little thoughtful. It takes being present. It takes carving out just a little bit of your time to type up a positive message, to send a nice text, to tell somebody thank you, to compliment a stranger as they walk by. We have the ability to uplift people at any point in time if we're mindful of it and we take the time and actually do it. So, who's made you smile? That's important. When we smile, nice things start going on in the brain. Nice hormones start to form that makes us feel better overall. So think about and be thankful for, be grateful for the people in your life that make you smile. Who are the people that have taught you something valuable? That's a great question. And something valuable can show up in different ways. Maybe they've taught you a skill, and that skill is something that you are able to use and improve your life on a regular basis. Maybe it's, being a kid at your parents lap, and they taught you kindness. They taught you confidence because they've cheered you on all your life and told you that you can. Maybe you didn't get that at home, but somebody showed up in your life. They gave it to you in another way. Who are the people who make you feel good about you? Good morning, Karen. Who are the people who have confirmed for you or taught you something of value that you refer back to? Sometimes people drop little nuggets in your life without even realizing that they're doing it. They may say something just in conversation, but it clicked for you. It resonated with you, and it's something that you take with you and you've taken with you ever since. That's something to be grateful for. Where do your values come from? So, those are the internal, the core things about you. Where did you get those lessons from? What are some skills that you have? Who's taking the time to teach you something? My husband was recently talking about, we've got a new neighbor who's really young, and he's a first time homeowner, and which makes us really proud to see, a young man already out and pursuing and starting to accumulate and build a life for himself and plan out his family. But because he's never owned a home before, some of the simple maintenance, some of the things that he needs to be able to do, my husband was like, yeah, I need to work with so and so and teach him this, because as a first time homeowner, he just doesn't know some of the things that he needs to think about. So he's going to teach him something of value. He's going to teach him how to maintain this home that he's purchased that he's so proud of. So hopefully one day later on in life, this young man will think back on my husband and go, he taught me some stuff. He taught me some things that I've taken with me for the rest of my life that are valuable, things that I may be able to pass on to somebody else, or things that I will pass on to my kid. And that was what my husband said. He was like, if our son was farther away, I would hope that somebody would show up beside him and teach him things and be available to him when he had questions about how to, make his way through this thing called life. So think on those people. So the three questions that we have when we're thinking about the people that we're grateful for: who are the people in your life that have supported you? Who are the people that have made you smile or laugh recently? And who are the people that have taught you something valuable? So that will help you get more aware and present with the impactful people in your life, and help expand your or cultivate your attitude of gratitude. And as you do that, watch yourself feel better. Watch your focus shift from a place of frustration or negativity to a place of being positive. Gratitude does that for you, and it does it quickly. Another area: what are some challenges or obstacles that I have overcome? So One of the things that I say is, people really don't like failure. We don't like it when things don't work out the way they should. Nobody's looking forward to that, right? We're not looking forward to falling and bumping our heads. But what I tell people all the time is that there's a lesson in every situation. And when things don't work out the way that you would have liked them to, if you can lock in on the lesson, if you can focus and learn from that situation, you haven't failed. You haven't failed, you've learned. And that's how we want to think about life. I am either succeeding or I'm learning. Those are the two options. If you have the right mindset, realize that you're either succeeding, and when we're succeeding, we're go 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 go. You're not learning as much in that space because you're accomplishing something. Success doesn't necessarily breed as much learning as quote unquote failure does. When things don't work out the way that you planned, you've got to think about it. If you're smart, be smart. Think about what went wrong. What could I have done differently? If I had done this instead of that, what would the outcome be? And when you start to think about it like that, you grow. None of the things that we have today happened the first time around. The light bulb did not light up the first time around, right? So there was a lot of quote unquote failure in getting to the successful state of us being able to walk in our houses and flip a switch and the lights come on. Somebody had to do a lot of work. Many people did a lot of work to get us to that. We just don't see their process. So understand when things are not going as you planned, you're in a process. You have the opportunity to learn. Iterate is what we call it on my job. I work in technology, which basically means just, change, make some changes, some slight changes, and then try again. What's the outcome you got this time? That's what a scientist does. They put a lot of stuff together, they figure out things, and then something happens. Something happens and it's like, oh, I thought it would have been this instead of that. Maybe if I use a little bit less of this and add a little bit of that, then it'll work better. You could do that with your recipes. You may take a recipe and follow it to the letter just as it is, but because of your palate, because of what you prefer, what if I add a little bit of strawberry to it? What if I add a little bit of chocolate? What if I do this or whatever? And you iterate on that recipe and you make it your own, and you keep doing that until you get just the taste that you like. That's your perfection, your personal perfection. So that's all a failure is. That's all it means is things didn't happen exactly the way you thought. So you need to do a little bit more thinking, make an adjustment, and try again. Don't allow a failure to be a stop sign where you go, okay, well, I don't know how to do that. And you just walk away from it. And it becomes one of those things that you never try again. That's not the idea. The better process is to look at it, shake that thing up. Let me try doing it this way or that way. And then from there, make your adjustments and see what the results are and keep going through that until you get where it is you're trying to go. So, what are some challenges or obstacles that I have faced in the past? If you faced them in the past, you've most likely overcome them because you're here in the present now. That's something to be grateful for. You've learned from it and you've also built resilience and hopefully self confidence because you've shown yourself that you can get past those things. What did you learn from those challenges or obstacles? And how did overcoming those challenges or obstacles shape you into the person that you are today? The hard stuff, it shapes us. It has made us into the person that we are today. I sometimes say if you change anything, you changed everything. If I go back in time to one of those hard situations and I'm able to remove it or somehow change it to the way I wish that it had gone, everything following that would have been different too, including the me that's sitting here today. So our tough times, they make us think about a diamond. A diamond is cold that's been under pressure. It's been under so much pressure that something beautiful forms, something that has so much value that we pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to obtain it. Something so valuable that relationships are cemented when one person gives the other that diamond. So a lot of pressure, a lot of hard stuff had to happen in order for that diamond to form. You are a diamond. I'm a diamond. The things that we have been through have been the pressure in our lives, have cultivated and made us the diamonds that we are today. See your brilliance, see your luster, see your value, see yourself as the diamond that you are. Be grateful for the pressure that has come and gone because it has made you you. What is something positive that's happened today? Well, I was thinking that this would be a hard question for a lot of people because we've just gotten up. For the people who are in Central Standard Time like me, it's not quite 7:30 in the morning, so we're just getting our day started. But we're awake. We're getting our day started. We can be grateful for that. I had Cassie roll through on TikTok just a few minutes ago and said I made her smile, and she was thankful for that. So somebody has already said something positive to me this early in the morning that I can refer back to for the rest of the day. Something bad is happening. I'm getting frustrated about something. I can think about a perfect stranger. I can think about Cassie and the nice message that she dropped and the cute emojis that she put there. She did not have to take the time to do that, but she did. And that's something that I can be grateful for forever. I can certainly pull on it for the rest of the day to pick me up if I start to get low. What am I grateful for in my life right now? So I'm not so much looking at the past, I'm not so much planning the future, but I'm looking at where I am right now and what is going on around me right now. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak to you guys every morning. I'm certainly grateful to be here right now. I'm grateful that people are listening in and giving me their feedback. What are you grateful for right now? Who are the people in your life that you appreciate and why? So those are the things that are happening today. Who's in your life today, right now, that you appreciate and why? Just thinking about it, just having that person's name slide through your brain, it's going to make you smile. It's going to lift up your mood. It's going to help you remember interactions that you've had with that person that give you those nice, warm, fuzzy feelings. Those things expand your gratitude. So ponder these questions, think about those things because they will help you get to where it is that you want to be in your gratitude practice. And it is a practice like anything else. The more we do it, the more natural it becomes. So if you start your day and before you really get out of bed and get going, you think about two or three things, the best things that happened to you yesterday, or the things that you're really grateful for, you're going to start to build up that gratitude muscle. You're going to start to operate from that place of gratitude. And before you know it, that is how you function. That's how you function. And that's what we're looking for. We want to be in that space more often than not. So we have to practice. All right. So, what are some of the simple pleasures in my life that I often take for granted? So, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning. What small things always make me smile? I'm a grandma. And throughout the day, my kids are sending me pictures of what the grandkids are doing. Um, they, my daughter sent me pictures of her little girl last night who's only 4, but she is a spitfire, so full of life, so full of energy, and she's always all her that comedy is already forming. So she's always saying something funny. So having those videos pop in, they make me smile all the time. My oldest daughter has a baby who's about 7 months old, so he's starting to crawl. So yesterday I saw videos of him on the floor, getting up on all fours, lunging forward towards some things that he wanted to play with. So those things make me smile. They're small things on one scale, but they're huge to me because those are my babies. Those are the grandbabies. Those are the things that I love, the people I love most in life. So when those little videos come through, they're an instant pick me up. What are some things that I enjoy that I often overlook? That's a good question. What do you really enjoy doing, but you don't get to it much? You often overlook it because you're so busy living, you're so busy surviving, you're so busy helping others, you're so busy doing, your career, your job, building your business, doing all the things that we do with those precious 24 hours that we have in every day. But what are some things that you really enjoy? I enjoy physical activity. I know that. So when I get the chance, me and my husband get a chance to do something a little bit physically challenging. It could be, a little bit of hiking on a trail that's a little difficult, or climbing, or something that I don't actually know that I can do. Doing it and getting to the other side of that brings me so much pleasure. So I like a little physical challenge and getting through it. And when I've challenged, um, I'm remembering trying to do this monkey bar thing. And then there's the, kind of the ball pit with all the soft stuff underneath. Imagine trying it and losing your hand strength and not being able to get all the way across. For some, that's failure. I wasn't able to do it. But for me, I see myself falling into that foam and just laughing my head off from the sheer rush of the fall. A little bit of fear is going to happen as you fall, and then you land in all this softness, and you can get up and try it again. It's just you. It's all about how you think about it. Not a failure, but a rush that I got nonetheless, just in trying to do something that physically I don't have the upper body strength to do right now. Yet. I'm working on that. One of my favorite words, yet. Whenever you start thinking about something that you can't do, tag yet on the end of it. When you say yet to yourself, you are still maintaining hope. You are still saying there's a possibility. It's not something that's in my wheelhouse right now. It's not something that I can do right now, but I'm capable of learning. That's what yet says. That little word says a lot. It's a comma. There's something coming after it. It's not a period. So yet I don't have the upper body strength that I need yet, but because I'm working out 4 days a week, because I'm being more mindful about how I'm treating my body, I'm getting stronger. So it's only a matter of time before I can get across. Use yet to your advantage, and especially if somebody else tries to limit you. If you've got anybody in your life in any capacity that likes to point out what you can't do, don't even give them the energy that they're looking for. They're trying to rile you up. You respond to, yeah, you might be right. I haven't figured that out yet. And keep going. Just keep going. Don't even buy into that negative energy. Thank you, Cassie. So you just keep going. Keep going. I may not be able to do it yet, but I'm a work in progress. Every day that I get up is a new opportunity for me to get better. And remember that, because it's true. It's true. And the more that we think about these things and build that type of mentality, the more we're able to deal with the challenges that come up and not allow them to just completely knock us off course. Have some mental triggers already filed away, some mental responses already filed away for when those folks who are not as evolved as you show up and are in a place to where they just need to strike out at somebody. Some people do it without even thinking about it. I have somebody in my family who I love dearly. We all do. But she can be a negative person, and she loves to pick and poke. And some of it is in fun, but in her attempt to be funny, she's poking right at people's soft spots, right at the things that somebody may really be, focused on. And I learned how to deal with her a long time ago. I stopped her right in her tracks and I said, "Are you trying to be mean? Are you trying to hurt people's feelings?" And I just give it right back to her and make her understand the environment that she's setting. And in her gaining that understanding, she has the opportunity to do something different. She has an opportunity to shift how she's responding to everybody around her. And if she doesn't, I can quietly retract. We don't have to fight. I don't have to lock in. I can just remove myself from the situation. I can limit how much I interact. I've got options because I'm aware. If I don't realize that I have options and I feel like I just have to take it, then I'm a prisoner of that environment and of that other person's personality. We're not. We have choices. Sometimes we just forget that we not only have choices, but we deserve those choices. So whenever you find that uncomfortable feeling starting to show up, don't push it down. Allow it to bring you into the present and start to ask yourself, what's going on? Why am I feeling uncomfortable? Why am I getting upset? Why do I feel a little weepy? Whatever the case may be, think about it, and then you can make some adjustments so that you find yourself in a better situation. Let's see. Cassie says she may be the one to make you laugh at your soft spots so that they can be healed. It's a good point, and that's the point I was making about my cousin Carlton and my sister Tiffany. They do that instead of really getting in there with you and hemming and hawing with you about the soft spot. They're probably going to say something funny that will immediately change the environment that you're in, change the atmosphere, and before you know it, everybody's laughing. And so, but you have to know what your lines are. How far can that joke go before it goes from something that's healing to something that's hurting? So yeah, sometimes in our best attempts, that's exactly where it's coming from. It's not coming from a place of meanness or wanting to hurt. They're trying to lift up the atmosphere, make it better. But sometimes things go too far, and exactly, Cassie, your boundaries are crossed, and it's not getting the it's not unfolding the way they would like or you would like. And when you find yourself in that situation, hopefully you'll have enough strength to talk about it, to let them know, because that's the only way that they know to make the adjustments, or even there's even an opportunity for them to make the adjustments. And they have to know where your boundaries are. And so if you're not comfortable articulating them, then you live in a place where your boundaries are violated all the time. And what you have to realize is if you haven't articulated them, it's not the other person so much that's violating your boundaries. It's you. You've set them. You haven't told anybody that they're there, and then you're upset because people keep stumbling over them. You have to be able to articulate in a way that they can receive, or at least try, that they're crossing a boundary. And then if they continue to do it, then you know that what you're saying to them isn't as important as to them as it is to you. But most of the time, if it's somebody that's really valuable to you, someone that you're valuable to, and they figure out that something that they're doing or saying is hurting your feelings, they're going to try to make the adjustment. We have to give them the opportunity, though. And a lot of times we don't, and somebody picks and picks and picks. They think they're making a joke. They've picked and picked and picked, and before you know it, how you feel about them changes, how you interact with them changes, or maybe you just don't deal with them at all, and they have no idea what happened to the relationship. So our ability to communicate really is important. It's really important. All right, so what makes my daily routine easier or more enjoyable? Remember when I asked on the front end about the things that we might take for granted? Imagine some of the things that you have in your day-to-day life that makes your life more enjoyable. It makes getting things easier. It could be as simple as your car. Having my car makes it a lot easier for me to get to work. I don't think about that much. It makes it easier for me to get groceries or to go and visit the grandkids, whatever it is I want to do. But do we really think about that in the beginning when we first get our shiny new car? We love that car. We're all excited about our car. We appreciate the fact that we have it. But then you've got that same car day in and day out, and you start to not think about that anymore until it breaks down, until something happens and you don't have the access to it, and then all of a sudden you realize the role that that thing is playing in your life. I use the car because that's an easy example. It gets me where I need to go. But there's other things, right? There's bigger things to you that without them your life would be more difficult, your life would be less enjoyable. Think about those things, because those things are things that you want to make sure that you're not taking for granted and that you're appreciating. And if it happens to be people in that list, tell them. There is nothing like hearing from somebody that they appreciate you. It makes you feel good. It can deepen that relationship. And it's just a good thing to do. Giving gratitude is something to have, but it's also something to give. And the more you give it, the more it comes back to you. You're just creating a space of gratitude and gratefulness that's good for you and people who you interact with. All right. So one other section of questions I think is, okay, what is something that I have thought of, that I have thought that others may have and for which may not have. So what are some of the things in your life that you have? You may not give it much thought, but others would just love to have. So maybe, so my car, I haven't bought a new car in quite a few years. I don't know why I'm on the car thing today, but here we go. So I've had my car probably 7 years, which is a long time for me. I've had it for quite a while, and it was gorgeous when I got it. Not nearly as gorgeous now because me and the kids and the husband, and he's turned it into almost a work vehicle sometimes. And so it's not nearly as well maintained and nice as I remember it in its heyday, right? But I see people all the time walking, not because of exercise, but because they don't have a car. Or I see people who they have a car, but they may be on the side of the road because it's overheating or this is happening or that's happening. And so it's a small thing, but if I don't realize what I have, somebody else would take so much pride in having. To me, I'm looking at it going, this thing's getting old. It's time for me to upgrade and get a car that's more indicative of my lifestyle now, and blah 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 blah. And at the end of the day, there are people out there that would so love to have what I have. So that helps me think about it differently. That helps me be a little bit more grateful for the fact that it's in my life. Same thing for people. Everybody didn't grow up with loving parents. If you have parents and they're still here, even if they're not still here, if you had parents that poured into you, that encouraged you, that told you about that there's nothing that you can't do, everybody didn't have that. It may be something that you think is just the way the world works. It's not for everybody. So that's something to absolutely be grateful for. If you're a young person and you're watching and you've got parents, especially if you're in those late teens, early 20 years, at this point, your parents are probably getting on your nerves because you're trying to create your independence and they're still holding on and trying to teach you stuff. And you just want them to understand that you're an adult now and you got this. Understand that they're coming from a place of love. Just like my husband wanted to work with the young man next door and help him learn how to maintain his house, that's how we are with our kids forever. We want to pour into you. We want to teach you everything. We go to bed at night hoping, if you're not still in our household, that all is well. We wake up hoping and praying that all is well with you. So you're going to be something that we're going to think about until we no longer are here. So instead of being frustrated with your parents, understand that they're coming from a place of love and they want to make sure that you have what you need to be successful. That's what they're doing. But everybody doesn't have that. Some people lost their parents early in life. Some people who have parents that struggled and weren't able to pour into them because they were struggling so much themselves. Maybe their parents worked all the time and they provided that way, but they couldn't have an emotional connection with them because they were just too worn out. By the time they finished working all those hours, the best they could do was a little bit of food and go to bed. So they may have provided for your physical needs, but not been there to make those emotional connections. So if you have parents who were able to do those things, be grateful. Everybody didn't have that. So that's something in your life that somebody else may look at and go, I only wish. I wish my family looked like this. I wish my family operated like that. I wish I had a house like their house. I wish I had a car. I wish I had a job. The very job that we're frustrated every Monday morning that we got to get up and get back to. Somebody would love to have it. And when we think about that, it helps us to cultivate gratitude for that thing and not be so frustrated with the process or processes that we have to go through to maintain it. So just remember that the things that are causing us frustration, there's somebody out there that wishes that they just had a portion of that very thing. And then who are the people in your life that you're thankful for? We've come back to that one. What are some experiences that have brought you joy and happiness? It's great to look back on those things. Some of the experiences I mentioned how I like to be challenged. A couple of years ago, I skydived. Biggest, scariest thing I've ever done. One of the most fulfilling in my little action adventure portion of my personality. It was so fulfilling to be able to do that, to actually accomplish it. My mother, you could not pay her to skydive. And it used to make her crazy that I would do, and it probably still does, to do the daredevil. She calls me her little daredevil, that I would do some of the stuff that I would do. But I just like that adrenaline rush, right? And she's not that way. She would prefer to not have the adrenaline or the rush. And so that's just differences in our personality. But for my birthday last year, she bought me a hot air balloon ride, something that she probably wouldn't do. But because she knows that I've got that portion of my personality, she bought that for me because she knew that that was something that I would love to do. I was like a kid in a candy store. I get out there in this big open field. You see all the beautiful colors of the balloons and the big baskets ready to hold about 6 adults. And up and away we went. And I got to see my city from a different view. I got to look down and see it from that angle, see the beauty of it. It was early morning. I got to see the sunrise from the sky. I was up there watching it come. You see different colors, you see different variations in colors and the gleaming of every. It was gorgeous. That's something for me to be grateful for, something for me to look back on, and it will always make me smile. And what really makes me smile is that she bought that for me when it's something that she absolutely wouldn't do, and probably something that she wishes that I didn't do. But she put aside her thoughts about it and just recognized who I am and did something that she knew would be meaningful for me. So there's a lot of things to be grateful for. And she bought 2 tickets. So me and my husband got to do it together. So I'm grateful that we had that experience together. I'm grateful that my mom sees me for who I am. And although there's a part of me that's way different from her, she honored that part in her gift. I'm grateful for the views. It doesn't take much but us to start to think. And I can get right back there. I can almost see myself in that field when I first saw those balloons and we were getting ready to go. Allow yourself to drift back to those moments in your life that have brought you joy and happiness. One reason to do that is that it's going to cultivate that feeling again right then and there, and you start to really enjoy that memory and get those good feelings going. But two, it's going to help you recognize the things that are really important to you, the things that really make you happy, so that you can do more of that. So don't just make it a memory. If it's something that you really enjoyed, do more of it. We only have this one life to live. And when we figure out what really turns us on, what really gets us going, what gets the heart pumping, what makes you smile, what brings you joy, when you can identify those things, that's the first step in the process. The second step is to do more of it. Make a conscious decision to fill your life with joy. Create memories that you can look back on later in life. I imagine that when I can no longer get out of bed because I'm up in age and ready to leave this place, that's a memory that I'll be able to look back on and can smile. What are those memories for you? And can you do more of it? And if you can, why aren't you? And if you can't, what's the obstacles that are in your way? Start to remove those so that you can live a more joyful life. And living that joyful life makes it easier for you to be more grateful. All right. And then we want to have a future focus. What are some things, some future events or goals that you're looking forward to? When we got there, it could be, have you ever booked a concert to, somebody that you really love their music, or maybe it's a play or something? when you're looking forward to that thing, every time you think about it, it's on my calendar. It's going to happen on this day. I can't wait. I'm getting the right outfit. I'm making sure I'm going with somebody that I enjoy spending time with. Just thinking about it, you get excited. The event hasn't even happened yet, but you've got all this anticipation that's building up. You're getting excited. You smile, you talk about it. What are those things in your future that you're looking forward to? I'm getting to the point to where I'll be looking forward to retirement in a few years. What am I going to do with myself? Am I going to spend more time with the grandkids? Am I going to volunteer? Am I going to do more of this? I'm building a public speaking business. I'm building a life coaching and mindset business. So I get to talk to people all the time about their hopes and their dreams. And I get to work with them and help them build a plan to get there. Who'd have thunk it? Who would have ever thought that I would have the pleasure, the honor of being in people's lives at that level? It's amazing. I love it. It brings me joy. So I do as much of it as I can. I love that I've got birthdays coming up from some of the grandkids. Looking forward to that. My birthday's coming up. I'm gonna be 55 next month. So the month of April, get ready. That whole month belongs to me. My birthday's not till the 27th. So I've got 26 days of celebration leading up to the 27th. And then I've got about 3 days of post birthday celebration before I've got to give over the month to the people who were born in May. But April, I'm going to enjoy that. Two nickels, y'all. 55. I have been blessed to be on this earth for 55 years. And I've had some good days, but I've had some bad days. But I promise you the good outweighs the bad. I've gotten through the bad. And I'm in a great place right now. There may be stuff that happens. Life is going to keep lifing. Things are going to happen. I understand that. I really don't wear rose-colored glasses, but my attitude is rose-colored. I believe that whatever comes my way, I can get through it because I've got almost 55 years of getting through stuff under my belt. So instead of being so focused on what pops up, this obstacle in my way, I can focus on, oh, I've had all these other obstacles and I've gotten through those. So I'll get through this one. Build up your confidence, talk yourself up, be your best advocate so that the brain stays soft and mushy and able to receive, and you're thinking and processing through things instead of hitting a wall every time something comes up. Let your life do that for you. Remember how much you've accomplished already. And then the next thing that shows up is not quite so scary. So, what are some goals that I'm working on that I'm looking forward to achieving? I just talked about that. How can I appreciate the journey towards achieving my goals as much as the destination? Guys, the journey is where it's at. Once you get to the goal, it's a wrap, it's done. You're celebrating that new thing, that new accomplishments, whatever it is. But along the way, you've met some people, you've learned some things, you've had some experiences. There's these little milestones along the way. That's why you want to keep that journey. You want to keep the ultimate place that you're trying to get to. You want to keep it there. You want to know what that is, but you need to recognize the milestones along the way. See your progress, understand that you're evolving, you're growing, you're getting there. If you can do that, then you don't have to wait until the end goal to be happy. You don't have to wait until the end goal to celebrate. You're celebrating along the way because you're seeing these little victories. You're like, okay, I'm one step closer. All right, I've accomplished this milestone, so I'm that much closer to my goal. If you will do that, you're more likely to stay the course. You're more likely to hit your goal because you're seeing and you're appreciating the progress along the way. And it will keep you excited, it'll keep you locked in, keep you motivated, and before you know it, you're here. And now you have the big celebration. But don't forget all those little points along the way that help you arrive there. Celebrate it all. Enjoy your life. Be grateful for the things and the people and the opportunities that are there. And before you know it, you've got that attitude of gratitude, and you can pull that out whenever you need it. And you can find yourself consistently in a place of that is more, it's, you can sustain your happiness and your joy more. It's more sustainable if you've got the right mindset. If you've got a mindset that says, I can, I can have the things in my life that I desire. I can do the things that I need to do to accomplish. Just realize that you can, and that you deserve, and that you will, and just keep working towards that goal one step at a time. And gratitude is one of those tools that will make your journey so much lighter, more enjoyable, deepen your relationships. It will make you feel better about life in general. And that's what I'm hoping for each of you. I see quite a few people have joined from YouTube and Facebook. I've been having a conversation with Cassie on TikTok, and I think Carlton, I think I saw you drop in as well. Everybody who has been participating there, thank you so much. On Facebook, good morning, Karen. Good morning. I see Health Driven LLC. This may be the first time you've been with me. Thank you so much. Kim, I see you on from YouTube. Um, and she's talking about my adrenaline rush. So that's it for today, guys. That is our Thankful Thursday. I appreciate you all tuning in. If you catch this later, hashtag replay so that I know that you were there. Leave your comments, and I promise I will respond before the day is up. As I break away from the workday, I'll come back in and answer any questions or respond to any comments. You are very welcome, Cassie. Thank you so much for joining in and for engaging so much today. You really made it a fun experience. Um, and I say that to all of you guys. Kimberly, Health Driven LLC, Karen, I really appreciate you guys being here, for dropping your comments, for interacting. It makes my morning wonderful. And now I'm ready to get started for the rest of my with the rest of my day. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:15 Central for Focus Friday. So tomorrow we'll talk about focus and how you can enhance your ability to focus so that you can get to the goals that you have set for yourself. So until then, you guys have a wonderful, thankful Thursday. Have an attitude of gratitude, and we will do it again tomorrow when we talk about focus. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.